Guys, what's up? Back at it again. Welcome to Ex-Streme. It is me, your boy Chuckles. And we have our very special guest today, is somebody who's no newbie to Extreme Airsoft or the stream. This is Scott. So tell the people a bit about yourself for those who may not know the legends that we tell.
Well, I'm Scott, and this is Tina Thumsley. I'm the team leader at Rycon Reapers, Extreme's home team, and this is my stitched up thumb.
Damn.
So, yeah, that's it. That's my summary right there.
All right, good. All right, well, everybody, oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze. Nope, I'm good. Okay, so, anyways, guys, it's great to see y'all. Another successful weekend of gaming. Just so you know, if you didn't already know, pre-registration for next weekend is already open. Friday 5 to 9, Saturday 11 to 3, and 4 to 8, and Sunday 12 to 4. So all pre-register is online. All of our policies are on that page on our web store. We'll throw it up somewhere. But extremeairsoftri.com. It's $25, $45 if you need to rent. Pretty cool. Great turnout last weekend. Just continuing going to do that. The store is open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. With gaming open, we do have modified hours. Friday is 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday is 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And Sunday is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Really cool. You can say some stuff, Chili. You got some stuff.
Sure thing. Online orders processing with no delay. Not all products are on our website. We're adding stuff every day, so if you think we got something in store but don't see it online, give us a call, and we'll let you know if it's available and see about getting it to you. Camps registration is live, so we got 7 different sessions of Nerf and Airsoft camp. Chuckles, you're doing the Nerf.
I'm doing the Nerf camps,
and Nick Williams is doing the Airsoft. So it's going to be interesting.
If you want your kids to have fun, send them to the Nerf camp.
If they're young enough / old enough. What are the age limits?
Airsoft camp is 10 to 16, and Nerf camp is 5 to 12. So you got a pretty decent age gap there. So if you want to get rid of your kid for an extended period of time, several weeks out of the summertime, now that places of nobody's gonna go do their sports, we're gonna go play some freaking Nerf. So let's I'm gonna kick it to some just some local stuff. Guys, All-Star Airsoft is open. They're doing gaming Wednesday nights 4 to 9, and then they're doing Saturday sessions 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can buy an all-day admission. I believe as of this weekend, from what I had talked to one of the regulars up there, he had said they're going to be open regular gaming, so you don't need to pre-register or anything this weekend. So show up, come out, pretty cool. Stronghold, their storefront is open. I don't know if they're no, I don't want to restart my computer right now. But the most opportune of times, the storefront at Stronghold is open. Thursday 5 to 8, Saturday 2 to 5, Sunday 2 to 5. Their hours might have changed since then. Battleground Z, their pro shop's also open. Tactical Paintball and Airsoft in Connecticut. They're doing private appointment with online sales, and they're also doing a cool FaceTime thing. RPC Airsoft, New Hampshire, they're doing skirmish signups online through Google Forms on their website and stuff. So, cool. Awesome. All right, well, we got all the important information out of the way. So that's great. Anyways, so now is the... excuse me. Now is where we get to the content. I did not go to M. Sato's presentation of Rochambeau 2 this weekend. That was located in... Yeah, that was located in Russell, Mass.
Scrubs.
Yeah, right?
I was at the first.
Me too. Yeah, I was at the first one. So I get an exemption, right? I was there, and we had so much fun. And okay, so obviously you had Rochambeau 2, really cool. you obviously have your. I mean, you could say some Scott. You were there, Scott, so you know the stuff. So I'm just like rattling off. What was Rochambeau 2 about, other than Airsoft?
Well, you just ruined all my content right there. Well, first off, Rochambeau was in a paper glitter mill area in Russell, Massachusetts, which is a big deal if you go to the doctor, by the way. They're not too pleased about that if you're from Rhode Island. But so and I played on the JTF team, which is tan team, and a lot of it was like our first order of business was finding these safes that were designated like this blah 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 or whatever. I'm not going to spoil it because they might be used again. We had to find them, open them, and capture the objectives inside to keep them away from the URG green team. And all that's in your welcomely, lovingly shared op board every time if you did go and didn't know about all these wonderful objectives. But
alert, read the op board.
Yeah, when they say read the op board, it's almost important, Not only does it tell you the address, but it also tells you what you're going to do. But it was a lot of stuff like that. First time back in a few months since Rochambeau 1. So 6 months of Airsoft op break. And let me tell you what, it was really, really nice to get out there and play Airsoft. So if you were thinking about it and you were on the fence about going to play some Airsoft because of these COVID-19 rules and all this nonsense about COVID-19, this pandemic we have going on, don't let it stop you. Like, go down to your local field, like Ex-Streme that's doing their sessions, and play, because you will not believe how good you feel at the end of the day getting out, hanging with your buddies, and doing something you enjoy. It was lit, as the young kids say.
Lit.
But it was, and all in all, it was a wonderful event thrown by Tom. It was only hotter than Hades everywhere and humid. You could swim through the air. And it was literally a blast. The missions were well organized. The command staff on TAN was well organized, like usual. And it was a blast, man.
A lot different than the first one?
No, it was pretty organized too, except it wasn't freezing cold.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
I was going to ask, did you prefer playing when it was colder, or did you prefer when it was incredibly humid?
Once I got my gun to work the first game by upping the dwell because it wouldn't fire when it was so cold, I would prefer the cold, because I heat casualtied in Virginia like 4 years ago playing Airsoft, and I never want that to happen again. It was the worst feeling in the world. So, moral of that story, hydrate when you play in the summer, and don't have the stomach bug the day before and up.
Water. Take care of
Water
yourself.
is your best friend.
I think I'd prefer the cold too, because at least in the cold, like, like I'm going into it, I'm wearing layers, and I could like take them off if need be. But I don't know. I normally muscle through the colds, but I'm always like, I just deal with the cold better than I do with humidity, I think.
Same.
The only thing about cold is you can take layers off, right? If you're getting hot, you can put them back on. But more people don't call their hits in the cold because they can't feel it because of their layers and nonsense.
Facts.
Than in the summer when there's a bunch of people running around in t-shirts.
Yeah, I definitely think I had like 3 layers on. I had my long john shirt and my combat shirt, and then I put the hoodie on over that for a little bit because it was like 12 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's like not -13 like Tolland was. When I showed up there, I think we're pretty good.
So I mean, talking about the whole COVID thing, a lot of the rules that were put in place, I know like a lot of it, you had to cover your face, like or I know that it's always like rules are required, but it's like an at your own risk thing. If you're a dingus and you don't wear like your mesh mask if you're playing and you lose a tooth, you can't go crying like a little baby to Tom or whatever. So how did you feel like those policies that Tom had to put in place affected? Did it affect the gameplay at all, you think, or was it just like it wasn't too bad?
So we're going to take the diplomatic approach to this.
I like that.
I thought all of the policies Tom O'Rourke put in place for us were wonderful, and they all worked great, and they kept to the state guidelines, and they didn't interfere with play at all because people followed them all the time. And so, I mean, in all honesty, if you think about it, the mask thing is like no big deal because you're already wearing one, and if you wear a balaclava normally, it it counts. So it's like no big deal. But I think it kept people safe and people were social distancing at all times. It just keeping it real, like, doing what Gina says, knocking it off and all that jazz. But they were very explicit, like you had to have some sort of face covering with you at all times. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't have one, it's a big issue. And when the cops showed up and everybody was social distancing, it was pretty good. Everyone had their masks on. And
showed up?
Yeah, they happened to park right next to my car.
Oh.
Well, they
had to show up, or was it like they just checked?
They showed up because somebody called the cops because this AO for some reason is infamous for civilians like really like to go canoeing in the river right next door, and everybody thinks that's their personal playground, a bunch of private property. Ooh. So they didn't like it when other people were interfering in their space. So
wasn't that the place we were sighting our guns in at Roche 1?
I don't know. Possibly.
I feel like there was definitely there was a point in time where I feel like we were at a game at one point. I don't remember which one. And maybe it was, I don't think it was Roche 1, but it was one where you just had a bunch of people from the outside world just kind of walked into the AO and we were like, you need to get out of here. And you need to get out of here now. I don't remember which one that was.
I don't think that was Roche.
I don't know. It only happened.
Dorigo. I think it was Dorigo. Some people were like along the water and they were like boating, and I was like, get out now.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania at Concrete City 2, we like breached this building, and there was just like 2 female hikers, and they were like, whoa! Like freaking out, they didn't know what was going on, and we're like, hey, we'll walk you out of the field so you don't get shot. But this is like not a good place to be.
This is
not.
not.
They must have been freak out.
And then this guy drove back to where we all parked, so he could hang out with his girlfriend, and got his big Ford F-250 truck stuck in the mud, and we all had to push him out. He was like just sitting there, red in the face, embarrassed, and his girlfriend is just like silently getting ready to sob in the passenger seat. She's so
embarrassed. He was like,
Civilians stumbling on Emsato games is just always a wild experience.
Because everybody's really inventive when they get to those games, when they're just like, what can we do to get in this building? And you just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, jeez. Good thing when you breached the building, you didn't throw grenades in first.
Yeah, they would have freaked out.
Somebody would have lost an eye. We would never. Airsoft would be in big trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, technically they'd be trespassing, so kind of like a
that too.
Punishment, Get out of here! I'll take your eye out, kid. But yeah, it's always an adventure. Especially when you go to those big ops and like not airsoft stores.
Yeah, that's always interesting. That's it's such a change of pace when you're at like even just at the op at an op is so much different of an experience than if you're just playing outside somewhere like.
Yeah. I want to point to Adam said something in the chat. There was a child on a scooter at the end of it. Yeah, well, she like was with somebody who is playing. Like the whole family was like, "Oh man, we're gonna go on a family vacation so my husband can play airsoft." So yeah, I don't know. That child was there all day.
Oh,
It's like
jeez.
5-year-old on a scooter.
I was like,
But
I gotta say. So what do you think were some of your most the most interesting moments you kind of ran into? Like anything crazy happen or unexpected, like
yes.
dynamic happen?
Oh yes. The best firefight I got into all day was against my own squad.
Yeah, I heard it.
Explain.
So how do you run into that situation? How does that happen?
The building we were playing in was multi-story, and there was a lot of staircases to go down, like up and down. And we had come down this spiral staircase, and me and Mittens just hammered out this door and breached this warehouse this like warehouse room. So it was a small hallway, and it opened up into a large room. And we exited the door. I went on the right, he went on the left. In front of me was an open door for like another room that I could just about see around. And when we breached the room, there was 4 green guys standing right there, and they freaked out, turned and just shot Brendan.
Oh.
And I like pushed myself against the wall to stay out of their sight. So the people on stairs were like, all right, well, we'll just go down a floor, walk across, and then come back up and breach in behind them and shoot them. Great idea in theory, but the word I heard that they were going to do that, but the word that they had breached never got to me. Like I didn't know they breached, even though I probably should have, because as soon as they came down the stairs, somebody's radio alarm went off and it was like, wee, wee, wee. It was very silent, very smooth.
Very fun.
Yeah, super operator. You know, they were like coming right down the stairs, right there. So they started shooting the green dudes, and I was like, oh no, more green dudes. So I started shooting at them, and they were like, oh no, one last green dude. So we started getting in a firefight, and I think I shot Decoy, I shot Adam, I think I shot Travis Montgomery, but I'm not sure. And then the last person that had breached on the other side, me and him traded. And all I heard was his distinct voice go, hit, 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 Mr. David Thorner.
Oh, God.
And I was like, wait a second, Thorner? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, dude.
Oh my God. I can't, I mean, I kind of can because it's Airsoft and that shit happens. But like, nobody at any point was like, it didn't. Was it dark? Did they really?
Yeah, it was like pitch black.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't using my flashlight because I didn't want to expose my position, but they were flashlighting the crap out of me, man. They did really good. You know, it was like really hard work to fight my own team, which is good. You know, that's what I want to.
That is the ideal.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, man. It was good, but
amazing.
Lots of fun.
I think I heard something about Ryan and a bag of glitter.
Ryan and a bag of glitter.
Oh. I heard that Ryan tripped and fell face first into one.
He's running and slid into a bag of glitter. I wonder if he's watching. He always tunes in late, so I'm always like.
I think we have to explain it to all the guests.
Yeah, so I guess Ryan was running and ran and slid into a bag of glitter, which is very common. There's glitter everywhere.
It's everywhere, dude.
Like no matter where you go, it's there.
I think one of the rules.
I still have paint and stuff, or like the chalk on like my Mark 18 on the side of the receiver still has some like chalk marking. Like that was why I was just still now. I was like, man, I should probably clean that up, but I'm just so lazy. I just don't really care.
I won't.
That's pretty funny. Uh, but you run into I love going to ops because you always run into the craziest situations where that's funny. Nobody was like, that's just amazing. I'm just baffled that at no point anybody in that engagement was like,
I mean, in all honesty, on my end, I never called out like tan or anything when we started shooting in the first place. But I also didn't recognize the distinct sound of my teammates' GBB MP7 going off.
Monty.
But I also don't really pay attention to that.
What would you say was the coolest moment that you had? Like you were just like, this moment was freaking sweet, or like as a team or something.
Due to all the COVID nonsense, probably about halfway through, we took a lunch break for like 20-30 minutes, and just like we're all sitting down underneath this pop up in the sun, just like hanging around shooting the breeze there, and it was awesome. It was good to be back playing and hanging out and not just like sitting at home and social distancing. You know what I mean? That was probably like the crowning moment. And I think somebody got a good picture of us all hanging out. My hair is all crazy, standing up straight, and I have like mirror shades on. That was probably like the best moment of the day. Was that? Even we weren't playing Airsoft. It was just the experience of going out and having fun. To be honest with you, that was probably it. Heartfelt moment right there.
It's definitely just a field trip. We're going on a field trip, boys. That's always one of the best parts is seeing because some of those dudes like you don't see them a lot of you might see them every so often or every few months, so it's nice. But it's just cool, like a bunch of good dudes, like all your homies, and you're chilling and you're eating and you're just like, we're vibing, bro. The vibing is where it's at.
Yeah, we were having a discussion. I was having discussions with a few of my friends, Jones and Thorner, and we're talking about how long we've been playing with each other. I was talking to a bunch of the teams, and I was like, we were like, yeah, we've been playing nonstop with each other every Tom event for like 3 years. And they were like, no, man, it's been 5 years nonstop playing together. That's pretty wild to think about,
That's wow. That's a long. Woo, wow.
Imagine playing with the same group of people for 5 years. It's great to think about. It's people you never know, you never meet without Airsoft. I think that's part of the magic that Airsoft is.
Full gang, full squad. Do you think? I mean, obviously, tread how you want to, but was there any, like, do you think any limits? Oh, they had a new medic system, right? They had a new medic thing. How did that work?
So they've incorporated these things called hit sticks into the game, and I'm trying to explain how they work because I never actually pulled one. I just had one on my back and somebody else pulled it for me.
Right. It's like Velcro red squares, right?
Yeah, basically it's like a piece of Velcro that covers a red square, and you Velcro it down when you've been hit as a medic system instead of the old red rope with the 2 knots in it, which I still like better in my opinion, but that's just me. But they also had you do it on your back left shoulder, so it wasn't a face-to-face thing of you guys being very close to each other and like breathing on each other and nonsense like that. You know what I mean? So that was pretty good. I think that that one change alone, if there was a contaminated COVID positive jabroni, would prevent a lot of the transmission because you're not face to face with somebody, I think that was pretty cool. But
what would you is there anything that it might maybe the rule set, maybe just in how the game ran, is there anything you think was kind of like not necessarily like a shortcoming, but something that you were just like, that wasn't what I expected, or didn't plan out the way that you thought it would have, kind of like in the op board or something like that? Like any rules that you were just like, maybe we could do without this, but
I wouldn't say rules per se. I mean, for me, a good thing is like Tom's rules change, but not like drastically. There's never like a huge drastic change. I mean, there'll be like one or two things that change. They may change in a big way, but like his rule set's been pretty rock solid for the past 5 years or nonsense, or you know what I mean. So it's very like, I mean, I'm at home with it, but I think the only thing that like I didn't expect was how hard Green Team was gonna play the first like 10 minutes into the game. Like we barely, like the first few hours, we couldn't even get into the building. It was just like constant breach the room and get slammed, breach the room and get slammed. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, you guys were outnumbered too, right?
Yeah, I think we were. I think we were outnumbered a little bit, but yeah, I mean, plus, you know, when you breach a room, you know, you have like a huge warehouse. There's a bajillion places for people to hide.
Right.
And you're coming through one room, you know. But that's, I think, I didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect how much on the ball they were going to be, and just like totally about it.
Dang. Yeah, it's always it's hard that you gotta that first. I feel like the first like hour is super defining for an op for like the entire even if it's like a 2-day op. Like I know when we went to shock op, like the first couple of hours we were just like getting stomped. We couldn't even leave the spawn area. We were just getting stomped, and so like come day 2, we were the only full squad that was there initially. So
I think that like at Tom events, especially Crossfire MSATO events, what ends up happening is the Green Team or the URG always plays like super hard, and they're really great about it. They're like bang on the field, bang on the field, bang on the field, bang on the field, and then they like get tired. And then Tan Team just has a steady pace about them. That it's a steady, constant go, 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 go. Not like so much go, 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 but like just kind of make it happen, make it happen, make it happen. And then towards the end of the day, when they kind of dive off, the URG Green Team dives off, JTF starts to be on the rise. And I feel like that happens more often than not, that JTF ends up winning because they have a constant energy level.
And that's something that's hugely like underrated. That's something that people don't really plan for, like how the Tan Team kind of does overall. And that's not just, you know, whoever is whoever, but that's one thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration is pacing at an op. Like the way that, you know, our squad does stuff, like, you know, we'll try to stay out as much as we can. When we need a break, we go take a break. If we need an extended break, we take the break so that we can maintain. Like, I mean, sometimes we'll get caught out in the field for like 4 or 5 hours straight, you know, nothing. But, you know, by constantly making sure that you're cycling in and out of what you're doing, you don't wear yourself out, especially on day 1. When you're just balls to the wall on day 1, come day 2, you're toast. Like at a Stag Ops game, where you're just, like at UBG, when you were just hiking everywhere, just there. Like, if you just went 100% the first day, all day, and then the night portion, you clock out. Day 2, everybody, like, leaves because they're just so exhausted. They're like, I don't want to play anymore, even though I paid $150 for this op. I'll go home. Like, yeah. Which baffles me, but pacing's huge. Like, if you don't pace yourself, eat and drink water, like, that's a nightmare. That's a recipe for disaster. You guys cannot handle it. I know I couldn't, like, but
a decoy and I went to an op where that actually happened. I think we started the day with 60 and 60 on the second. It was a 24-hour full op. At the end of it, it was like 8 and 12, and it was interesting.
That's the kind of stuff that happens. People just get tuckered out. They can't maintain a decent pacing. And that also boils down to command too, because the command structure obviously is like at least in some regard, monitoring how often teams are cycling out, where they need support, if you guys have potential time that you can take downtime. So that's good on them too. Good job, everybody. You guys are so great. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think like it also boils down to how you want to play Airsoft. For me, Airsoft is a game. In its sense, I'm here to have fun. I'm here there to spend time with my friends and do something we're all remotely interested in. And I'm not there to like kill myself, you know? Like I get it. It's a milsim, like milsim. Be out there all the time, eat on the field. Blah, 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 blah. All that like dumbass stuff. Oop, my bad. Uh all that stupid stuff, you know, like for me it's not about that. Like if I want to like stop, you know, take an hour break to grill some food and hang out and just like have good conversation, then I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. You know, it's my money. I paid to be at the op. I'm going to experience it the way I want, you know, and I'm not going to let somebody else's energy affect mine.
Oh, dude. Good vibes, only. Good vibes.
Like we were at a Stag Ops event, and one of the command structure, I'm not gonna name any team sides or any nonsense like that. We were out like grilling burgers and grilling dogs, and he comes over and he was like, "Hey, are you guys have been like taking a break for like 20 minutes now? Are you gonna go back out anytime soon?" And I was like, "Dude, you're ruining my Milsim experience, man. Just like vibe off, okay?" Like it's just that's the way I want to experience it, you know, and I think that helps with the overall energy level.
I'm gonna do what I want, man.
Mhm. You know, like
that's funny.
You're ruining my Milsim experience. I just want to like vibe at a certain level, and that's where I'm gonna be. You know, when I'm out in the field, I'm giving it my all. Every 110%, I'm gonna be on the field, and if I have to be on the field as much as possible to make something happen, I will. You want me to be out there for 6 hours? I won't quit until I absolutely have to. But when when I'm ready to go on the field, that's when I'm gonna go on the field. You're not gonna push me any sooner, you know. I'm not necessarily an old man. I'm still young, but like doesn't mean I want to like just constantly go at it, you know.
Yeah. When we're hungry.
Yeah, we're hungry, bro. Like everybody brings. We all like to bring. Somebody brings a cheese. Somebody brings a buns, burgers and chicken and pasta salad.
Oh, the pasta salad.
I know. The minute
dude.
you started talking about cooking food, I was just like, pasta salad would be great right now.
But yeah, man. I mean, Airsoft is Airsoft. You know, it's your enjoyment. It's your ride. I mean, I'm captain of that cruise ship, man. I'm gonna enjoy it the way I want it to be. You know, everybody else is along for a ride. But
if anybody has any questions for Scott or any of us, please feel y'all have a cook. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, we have a legit chef now, Mr. Nicholas Dowling, barbecue master.
But before around for him to cook yet, I hope that soon.
Mr. Nicholas Dowling made us one time at an op. He shows up, and he had come to an op with us, and I cooked burgers and stuff. Like, you know, I really just like skated my way through making some decent food that you could eat. And he comes to an op, and he makes us BLTs with hand-cut bacon at an Airsoft op. The bacon was like a half an inch thick, cooked to perfection. They were like amazing BLTs. So then the next morning, he makes us quiche at UBG. Quiche at an Airsoft op. You like show up to the squad leader meeting in the morning eating a slice of quiche. Everyone's looking at you like, what is going on?
They're just like,
Then the next Stag Ops event, he makes us, on my little crappy grill, he made us croque madame, which in essence is a slice of brioche bread, ham, and some sort of gravy spice concoction that is absolutely delicious, and some eggs. It is unbelievable. And number one, it's unbelievable, and it's more unbelievable when you're eating it at the squad leader briefing, day 2 of an op at UBG, and people are looking at you like you're insane.
Flex. So
Yes.
no, everybody get a real chef on your team because you will not regret it. But yeah, so I mean, did we lose Chili? That might just be me. Oh, okay. Bye, Chili.
That's all right. See you later, alligator.
we're almost done. Anyways, I don't know. Any final thoughts on Rochambeau? Anything you wanna say?
I don't know, man. I mean, Airsoft is Airsoft. We lost Chili officially, it looks like. I don't know, man. Do you have any more questions? Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I think we're set. I'll just do some last second stuff, and everybody's he might be pooping, Matt. You're right, Doc. He might be pooping. He had an emergency. To wrap up, if anybody has any questions about the op or about going to an op, like it ain't easy, finding homies. The pics are not up yet. Not everybody has sent me pics to post up.
Yeah, didn't take that many this time.
I want pics. Most of the pics I got were most of the ones I got were from Kyle just taking selfies with everybody.
Oh, speaking of Kyle, now I don't think he's watching it. If he is, I'm sorry, Kyle.
Oh, no.
But whoa, what was that? So Kyle couldn't figure out how to register himself for the IMSATO event, so he had his secretary do it. She registers him for the wrong one, spends $200 in an op that is in a month from now in Seneca Lake, New York. So I do it for him. So registering for an op, you have to have like some personal information, like your address and stuff like that. So he sent me all that stuff. I register him, all set. As soon as I'm done registering him, I turned around and ordered a glitter bomb to his house. The biggest one I could buy online, bright pink glitter, and it says, "We love you, the Rycon guys," inside as soon as it explodes. So whoever's watching, don't spoil it for Kyle, because that's going to be hilarious.
Dude, I want that to be there. That's hilarious. That's a great. I remember when we were on the Xbox and you were just like, "Man, should I do this?" I was like, "Wow, really?" I was like, "Oh, he did it. He did it. He sent it." Yeah, send me all the pics you have. I got a few, but
it cost me $25.65. And I ordered it on the 9th. It should be there in about a week. So it's like
how does the bomb work? Do you cut? Is it come in a box? You cut open the box and then that's it?
I don't know, Chuckles. Let's experiment and figure out if you could just PM me your address. I'll send you one. You can tell me how it works out.
We'll have to ask Kyle how it works when he opens it up next week. He'll be like, "Well, that's interesting."
Oh, looks like somebody's sending some different language. Let's see if we can decode this here.
Oh, I'm curious. All right. Anyways, so as we wrap up here, don't forget we have gaming this weekend. A bunch of other stores are open up. So we are. I don't know if I want to know this.
Yeah. Can't say that. Can't say that on the stream.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, so what we stores open, guys. Pre-register. It's going to be great this weekend, 5 to 9 on Friday, Saturday 11 to 3, and 4 to 8, and Sunday 12 to 4. And I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Stay well, stay kind, stay out of trouble. Do your due diligence and stuff. Blah 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 blah. Other than that, it's been your boy Chuckles. It's been your boy Chili. Why is Chili not so high pitched?
And it's been your boy Scott and Tina Thumsley.
And we'll see you guys. Bye.